Now here's your host, Pastor Paul Begley.
Welcome. This is the Coming Apocalypse. I'm Pastor Paul Begley, and today we're going to begin studying the four horsemen of the apocalypse. We're going to, this has always been a subject that people have talked about, the concepts of it, the ideal of it. What does it all mean? Movies have been made about it. Books have been written. The four horsemen of the apocalypse. Well, you'll need to go with me today. It will be in the book of Revelation. We'll be in the 6th chapter. And there's no question that these four horsemen, or four, a lot of it is periods of time and events that are going to take place. And we're going to break it down for you. Today, we're going to take a look at the white and the red horseman and understand the dynamics of how it affects the earth, how it affects your life. Not just out there somewhere. I'm talking to you right now. You see, well, here's the deal. When Bible prophecy, it seems like there's 20,000 pieces to a puzzle. About 80% of the puzzle pieces are up here and are already put together. We're down to about 20%, and they're all on the table. So it's coming together fast. We're watching the apocalyptic events. We're watching these changes in governments, changing in culture, the talk of a one world government, the discussion constantly of a new world order. We've had 6 presidents of the United States address, after they left office, either in letter or in writings, in books, leave documentation. Their greatest concern for America was the rise of the Illuminati, or the New World Order. So this is a real deal, and it's a global situation. I'll be right back with the horsemen of the apocalypse. A brand new book I've just finished called Reflections from the Land of the Prophets. This book is filled with beautiful pictures, a pictorial, if you will, of the Holy Land, and some definite great insight to the prophets that once spoke mightily in the times leading us up to the present. It's a prophetic word, a reflection of what God has spoken, not only historically from the past, but for the future. Go to my website. It's available now. Are you serious? Are you going to deal with the four horsemen of the apocalypse? Well, we're going to have to deal with it. And matter of fact, there's some things that's been going on that have left some folks wondering, how close are we to this event? Well, matter of fact, let's go to Revelation chapter 6. The Bible says in verse 1, "And I saw when the Lamb opened one of the seals, and I heard as it were the noise of thunder, one of the 4 beasts saying, 'Come and see.' And I saw, and behold, a white horse, and he that sat on him had a bow, and a crown was given unto him, and he went forth conquering and to conquer." Well, the white horseman of the apocalypse a lot of times gets confused with Jesus' return riding a white horse. The Bible says that he'll be riding a white horse, his vestures dipped in blood, his eyes a flame of fire, his hair as white as wool, and on his thighs inscribed faithful and true. But don't be confused. Christ returning on the white horse and this white horse are totally different. This is the Antichrist. He is going to come forth. The beast is going to take over. There will be a one world leader. There will be a new world order, or a beast. Revelation chapter 13 tells us it has 7 heads and 10 horns, and upon the heads crowns, and those crowns have the name blasphemy. And so the Antichrist will arrive, and he will come, and he will bring with him, you can call it the Antichrist. Sometimes the Bible refers to him as the beast, and in other times it refers to the whole one world government as the beast. But we know he also has the number of a name, and that number is 666. We understand that there are certain things already taking place. First of all, the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse are the first 4 seals that must be broken. And right now, the formation of a global citizens. Matter of fact, if you were watching the Super Bowl at halftime when they were dancing and singing, they were wearing armbands that said global citizens. We have, I fly a lot, so some of the airlines I'm on, one airline in particular now calls themselves the One World Airline, all right? And they're putting that logo on all the planes. They're going to change the name. We see that there's going to be the globalization. The United Nations has an agenda called Agenda 2030, the global sustainability. And they talk about Agenda 21 has been in play for quite some time. You may have heard of what's called the Georgia Guidestones. That's these huge stones, monument that's down in Georgia that has basically the 10 commandments of the Illuminati. One of them is that the world cannot have more people on it than 500 million. There's 7 billion here right now. So how do they plan on getting from 7 billion to 500 million? That's called global depopulation. And some of it may be done through vaccinations due to spread of disease and pestilences. Some of it will be caused because of war. Some of it may happen because of different types of weaponry and starvation and all kinds of different things. If you read the Bible, Jesus tells you, he says, there will be false Christ and false prophets shall rise, and they shall deceive many. Ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled. For all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. And there will be famines and pestilences or plagues or diseases and earthquakes in divers places. All of these are the beginning of sorrows. So you have a one world government. It's called control out of chaos. And that's why a lot of folks are concerned when they see the United States of America, when new executive orders are being written by the president, and those executive orders keep giving him unlimited power for incarceration, power to, without search or seizure, being able to go into your home. The NSA listening to every word you say, admitting that they've recorded every phone call, every text message, every Facebook post, everything you've ever done has been and is being recorded without your knowledge and has been for the last 10 years. They admitted that every television has a chip in it that can be used to record conversation, both video and audio. It's already in your television. It's already there, so don't freak out. That doesn't mean they're watching you right now. It means they have the capability at any time they can. So what I'm trying to tell you is you're not going to run away from the realization that the white horse is about to rise. Now, let's take a bigger look at this. Look at it from a global standpoint. This is why you're hearing the conversation coming out of Europe. They're having a tremendous crisis due to immigration. They have what's called open borders. If you're part of the EU or the European Union, anybody can go to any other nation. There's 28 nations that participate in the European Union, and you can flow to anyone you want. You got a passport, just go right in. There's no problems. It's open borders. What has happened is there's been an unbelievable migration of Muslims from the Middle East coming through, whether they're coming out of Iraq or Syria or parts of North Africa. But anyway, they're going into Turkey, from Turkey right into Greece. And once they get to Greece, then they're part of the EU. It's wide open. They just go right through Greece into the other nations. And there's becoming a major crisis. And in Germany, there's protesting going on. And there's riots going on. And there's issues taking place in England. And look what's happened in Paris, France, with the attacks on November 13th, 2015. The slaughter that went on in these cafes and at the stadium and at the concert hall, where 130 people were innocent people murdered, over 300 wounded in the streets of Paris, France. And then there's Brussels, Belgium, and the explosion at the airport, an explosion in the metro train section, same group tied together. And so we're seeing this type of mentality, San Bernardino, California. So there's no way you're going to get around Sydney, Australia at the candy shop, Canada at the Parliament building. You're not going to stop. The white horse is going to create enough chaos that the New World Order will say we have to take control of the chaos and set up a one world system. Now, it also is a part of a false peace will come. There will be an Antichrist. He's a fraud. He's going to use a lot of misdirection, a lot of misinformation. He's going to use superpower, if you will, some kind of delusion. He'll bring a strong delusion. He'll be able to call fire from heaven and deceive people. Maybe it's with different technologies. We don't know exactly what all he'll be very charismatic, and he will have the answer to an impossible question. Matter of fact, there was Dr. Malachi Martin, who was a Catholic priest who worked at the Vatican for a while and then left the Vatican, went on his own. He had been an exorcist for some time, and he has studied the occult practices. He left the Vatican, but he kept on writing books and giving speeches. And in one of his writings, he said the Antichrist that will rise is certainly the greatest demon of them all. And he said, I've dealt with a lot of them in deliverance and in exorcism type settings. But he said, no one has seen the power of the Antichrist, this beast. He will be so incredibly charismatic, yet demonic. He will be an Antichrist, and he will force you to believe him, to accept his mark. And in some ways, Malachi Martin says he will solve a problem that the world can't solve, an insuperable problem. And when he does, the whole world will wonder and marvel at him. Maybe he makes all the water clean. He comes up with a chemical or comes up with a filter system that because of all the, who knows? But what I'm saying is the white horseman of the apocalypse is mentioned right here in the Bible. And let's just read on a little bit. It says in verse 2, and I saw and behold this white horse, and he that sat on him had a bow, and a crown was given unto him, and he went forth conquering and to conquer. He had some type of weapon. Maybe it's a super duper nuclear capability. Maybe it's something more sinister. Maybe it's some type of a laser capability out of satellites orbiting the earth. Maybe there's some type of other type of technology that we've never even heard of. But the white horseman of the apocalypse is going to arrive on the scene. And you want to be in a position to understand that. And so when you see these things happening, don't be afraid. Don't have any fear. But look up. The Lord is coming, and you want to be ready. I'll be right back. We got to talk about the red horse in just a moment. I'll be right back. Folks, let me tell you something. I have a book I really recommend you should get. You go to my website at www.paulbegleyprophecy.com. I have a book entitled The Zombie Apocalypse. Now, it has to do with 35 actual accounts of demonic possession and manifestations that is very troubling, but will help you understand how demon spirits actually work in these last days. I highly recommend you get it also for your teens and college students to help explain to them the pitfalls to not fall into these sorcery or witchcraft seances, Ouija boards, or some video games that could alter the mind and the soul of your child. Again, this book, it's only at my website at www.paulbegleyprophecy.com. There you'll find it on the products page. It'll be a blessing to you, insightful, and you'll bless the ministry.